This is a video on how to make a paper aeroplane. In order to do that, all you need is a basic piece of paper. It can be a used paper. It doesn't have to be cut very fine. All you need is a rectangular piece of paper. I've used a standard printout paper for this. As you can see, it's not very smooth. It's got a few folds in the middle. All you need is to make sure that the paper is nice and rectangular. Now, to begin with, you fold the rectangle into half along the long side. So this is the short side, this is the long side, right? So you fold it from the short side so that both the long sides are joining together. Make sure your folds are nice and sharp. When I say sharp, I mean you need to make sure that your folds are properly pressed down. So to do that, it will help if you press it well down here. If I open this up, you can see it's made a nice sharp fold, right? That's number one, step number one. Step number two is fold this on the top half, fold outwards so that you fold at the bit where you folded, and so that this little tip here joins down or connects to the fold here, right? And then once again, make sure your fold is nice and proper. Press it well. Do the same thing on the other side. Turn the paper the other side. Make sure your folds are joined up well. Now try not to do this. Try not to do this. Try and make sure your folds are connected well. Press the fold down again. Now open up your piece of paper and fold it down. The bits that you've just folded need to go on the inside. You fold it down so that you see this here forms a line. This is the line you need to fold against. So you want to push it down so that the fold is nice and straight, and then right. So make sure your folds always, all the time, make sure your folds are nice and sharp. Now once you have this third fold, you see this little line we have in the middle, the one that we made by folding it in half. You fold this along this line. Okay, make sure you've got a line there, right? Now what you're going to do is you're going to grab one of the corners. You've got two corners, one to the left, one to the right. You're going to grab one of the corners, and you see this line in the middle. You're going to bring this to here. An easy way to do it perhaps is to bring it. Now remember, this is not a proper fold. You are not going to make this fold. You are going to make about a halfway fold. Okay, remember, not a proper fold, a halfway fold. Okay, just make sure that this tip here lines up against the middle fold. Right, make sure you've got the tip proper. Hold it down. One of the easy ways to make a fold is to make sure that your tip is in the right place. Hold it down with one finger and use the other finger to press down the fold. Now repeat this with the other end. Try and align it so that the new fold you're making is aligned properly with the one before. You just make sure that your aeroplane is nice and plain, is nice and even, symmetric, so to speak. Not really necessary, but folds are quite important in making sure your aeroplane flies evenly. So make sure it's lined up nice and properly, as you can see, as best as you can, obviously. And then press it down, and then make sure it's pressed down, right? Now we've got all of these two, both of these two folds here, right? As you can see, unfortunately they are not that evenly made. It won't really matter. Now this little tip in the middle, bring it up here so that it holds down these two folds that we've just made, right? Make sure it's pressed down, and your aeroplane's now nearly done, right? Now fold backward once again here, right? What this little fold has done is it's holding down this fold, right? As you can see, your aeroplane is nearly taking shape. The second last step now is fold halfway from here, roughly halfway, so that this long side aligns with the main center fold this way. Okay, again, remember the tip is to align this properly here, hold it down with a finger here, just make sure you've got it right before you finalize the big fold. This is the big fold here, and once you're happy, okay, as you can see, I've done a little bit of a mistake. You can always fix that, which is why doing it properly the first time around is really important. Okay, as you can see, it's a bit better. Do the same thing on the other side. Let's not repeat the mistake I made here before. Let's make sure that this fold is nicely aligned, and then finalize the big fold. Yeah. Right. Now, as you can see, if you open the folds, look at that. Our aeroplane is nice and ready. Unfortunately, it's not as even as you'd like it to be. Just make sure any folds that you've messed up. The good thing about paper is if this doesn't happen properly, you can always throw this away and make a new one. But even a wonkily made aeroplane can still fly in interesting ways. As you can see, here is our newly formed aeroplane. Not bad, eh? Right? Now the best way to fly it is to make sure you open this up a little bit. Remember when you make it fly, you've got to hold this in the front tip. This little triangle here acts like a hold. Blow a little bit of air in here, make sure it's half open, and then give it a toss. Shall we give it a go?